Have you ever felt like you're living by a set of rules you never actually agreed to? Well, today we're diving into a powerful guide for personal freedom. It's from Don Miguel Ruiz's amazing book, The Four Agreements, and it's all based on ancient Toltec wisdom. But before we get into it, I want you to just take a second and really think about this question. What invisible rules are running your life? Like right now. It's a deep one, right? Because most of us are being guided by these agreements we never even realized we made. See, from the moment we're born, we get programmed with thousands of these unconscious agreements. And no, I'm not talking about written contracts. I'm talking about these powerful beliefs that are handed down to us from our families, our teachers, and our society. They're like the invisible operating system running in the background of our minds, shaping every thought and every action. So what even is an agreement in this sense? Well, it's any belief you've accepted as truth, period. The book uses a really powerful word for this process: domestication. Just think about that. It's like we're trained. We learn to perform certain ways to get a reward, approval, and to avoid punishment, which is usually rejection. And this whole system shapes our entire reality, often without us ever stopping to question it. And this is where we really start to see the personal cost of these societal rules. We're told, be independent, but that can easily trap us in fear. We're pushed to live up to all these standards, which just leads to this constant nagging self-judgment. And the result of all that? A deep, hidden suffering that comes from trying to live up to an idea of who we should be instead of who we are. So, how do we break out of this? Well, the book's solution is brilliant. It's not about fighting the old rules head-on. It's about consciously choosing to replace them with 4 new, incredibly powerful agreements that are designed to bring you real personal freedom and happiness. The journey to that freedom starts with the single most powerful tool we all have. So let's jump into the very first agreement. All right, agreement number 1, be impeccable with your word. Now, this is so much more than just don't lie. It's about understanding that your words have creative power. They're like seeds. You can use them to plant beautiful things, like love and success, or you can use them to plant weeds, like fear and self-doubt. Your words literally create your world. And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? Just think about the way you talk to yourself in your own head. The book argues that the harshest critic, the biggest bully you'll ever face, is almost always yourself. We all have that voice, right? That inner judge that is just relentless, always pointing out what we did wrong. We end up being our own harshest critic. The goal here is to basically fire that inner judge and start using our words to support ourselves, to show ourselves some love and encouragement. Okay, so once we start getting a handle on our own words, the next step is to change how we deal with the words that other people throw at us. And that brings us to the second agreement. Agreement 2, don't take anything personally. Oh man, this one is a total game changer. It's all about this one simple truth. Whatever other people do or say, it's a reflection of them, not you. It's not about you. Think of it this way. Every single person is living in their own movie. They're the star, they have their own plot, their own beliefs, their own agreements. So what they say and what they do is a projection of their movie. It has absolutely nothing to do with your reality unless you decide to let it in. Because when you take things personally, you're basically opening the door and inviting in what the book calls their emotional poison. You're letting their negativity hook you and pull you in. But when you truly understand it's not about you, you become immune. It just bounces right off. All right. So if we stop taking things personally, the next logical step is to stop creating all these dramatic stories in our own minds. And that leads us straight to agreement number 3, which honestly tackles a huge source of our day-to-day suffering. So simple, yet so hard sometimes. Agreement 3, don't make assumptions. I mean, just think about it. How many times has a simple assumption blown up into a massive misunderstanding? We invent entire soap operas in our heads that have zero basis in reality. And the antidote to this is so beautifully simple. First, find the courage to communicate clearly. Just say what you want. No hints, no ambiguity. And second, if you don't understand something, just ask questions. Stop trying to mind read. This one shift can wipe out so much unnecessary drama and conflict from your life. So the first 3 agreements are all about how we use our words, how we interact with others, and how we manage our own thoughts. This 4th one, though, it ties everything together with a simple principle for how to live. And that is agreement 4. Always do your best. But, and this is the really important part, your best is not some fixed, perfect standard. It's going to change from day to day, even moment to moment. I mean, your best when you're healthy and you're feeling on top of the world is going to look totally different from your best when you're sick or tired or just emotionally drained. The goal is just to give it your best for the situation you're in right now without pushing yourself too hard or not hard enough. And the real magic of this agreement? When you know in your heart that you've done your best, you give that inner judge absolutely nothing to attack you with. There's no room for regret or self-blame or guilt. You can just look at the outcome, accept it, learn what you need to learn, and move on. Okay, so these 4 agreements sound pretty great, right? But how do we actually break all those old ingrained habits and start living this way? Well, the book lays out a really clear 3-step path to get there. It all starts with step 1, awareness. You can't change the rules of the game until you realize you're even playing one. Step 2 is forgiveness, and this means forgiving everyone who taught you these limiting agreements, and most importantly, forgiving yourself for living by them. This frees up so much mental energy. And finally, step 3, act now. Don't wait for the perfect time. The time is now. Choose freedom today. And that brings us to one last, really powerful question I want to leave you with. If you could break that one agreement, that oldest, most limiting belief that you've been carrying around for years, who would you become? What would finally be possible for you?